They have high hopes and a whole lot of motivation. The danger is virtual, but the excitement is real. Any night of the week, they're their league's heroes. And they live for the thrill of victory. It's Sunday Night Thunder. NARC No Limit is open for business. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Cedar Lake, Iowa for NARC's No Limit Showdown here at Cedar Lake Speedway. We're looking forward to an excellent night. We have a great car count in the pits tonight. Started seeing trailers unloading early this afternoon. Guys have been working on their cars. A lot of guys have been putting some time in since last week, and we are super excited to see what comes out of this week's race. We do have some interesting information here at Cedar Lake. We've got Matthew Croak is going to be running the number 7 car that won last week or at our last event. So that's going to be something interesting. No repeat winner today. We'll definitely have a new winner for the season since the house car that Bradley Cox was running is going to be run by Matthew Croak tonight. Justin Sherman will also be piloting the 20 SSR car that is normally piloted by Jeremy Weigel. So we've got a lot of interesting storylines heading into tonight as we get ready for qualifying. We are going to have a track record opportunity tonight, I think. I do believe this track could be fast enough for a track record based on some of the times we saw in practice. So we'll see what we get for sure. But the track record set by Connor Dudek, and that's an 11.993. And Jake Sonnentag, the all-times win leader here at Cedar Lake. Down in the pits, we've got Christian McCartney. Christian, anything interesting we should know heading into tonight? What are you hearing down in the pits?
Well, like you said, the hauler started coming in early, and there's been a tension in the air, a lot of excitement for this race. I'm certainly going to have an eye on that track record. Connor Dudek putting up an 11.993 here for the record in the 410 sprints. And just so have it, who do you think is going to go out first in qualifying? Connor Dudek. So we'll see if he can best his best time tonight. I think that's going to be very exciting. Uh, Joseph Grandy, one of the drivers from week 1, who was very quick. He'll be going out here early in qualifying. Maybe he can best Connor Dudek's track record. But I think tonight it might be a record night. Back up to you, Bruce.
Yeah, interesting. Connor Dudek is like the pill draw king here for No Limit. I believe we had these conversations in the invitational season where Connor was regularly drawing the number 1 or number 2 pill. Does look like push trucks are kind of lined up behind the cars. I think we're getting close to qualifying here. We'll give us a minute as we start to put the cars together. Connor Dudek will be the first one out on the track for qualifying today. Cedar Lake, a very interesting track. Number 1, it wears way different than a lot of the tracks in the eastern part of the country. It's not unusual to see this track wear in super quickly and wear in and need a little bit of work. So we're going to keep an eye out, see if race control is going to call for some track work at any point in time during the night. That's the fun about dirt racing is the track changes throughout the night, and if they do decide to do some track work, then that's going to throw everybody for a little bit of a loop. They're going to have to do a little bit of work, put some stuff together, and see if we can't find a better setup on the race car for the new track format. All right, race control is just waiting for a couple of final adjustments before they start pulling cars out onto the track. for turn 2 Terribles qualifying. All righty, here we go. Our first car out on the track. Hailing from Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania, in the Aces Upspin Sim Sports Dudek Sim Designs Frogger with a Hauer engine. For Kenny Hoffman Racing, this is Connor Dudek. Connor Dudek, the current track record holder here. Connor's first lap coming in 11:03. That is a new track record, I believe. 11:03, new track record for Connor Dudek. Connor's second lap will be exactly the same, 11:03 for Connor on lap 1 and lap 2. Next out on the track, from Fremont, Ohio, in the Gulf Dots, Watson Motorsports XXX with a Speedway, this is Mike Watson. Watson's first lap around the track, right around the top here, in the middle of that fluffy area. First lap for Watson going to be 11:40. Watson runs a pretty similar line for lap 2. Watson's second lap going to be 11:32, just a little bit better, but not enough to improve. Mike Watson sitting second. Next car out from Northwood, Iowa, in the Hagen Farms Hagen Brother Racing XXX with a rider. This is Brent Hagen. Brent, an SSR and NARC veteran. Very familiar with our group here. Brent's first lap going to come in 11:13. Not enough to get Connor off, but that'll be played him second. Hagen's second lap at 11:32. Not going to be enough. Next car out on the track, the Royalty Motorsports, Majestic Promotions Branding Apparel, SM Racing Royalty Network, DGHA Designs, XXX with a Kistler. This is Joseph Groom from Owasso, Michigan. Joseph's first lap going to clock in at 11:57. Good enough for fourth here provisionally. So you can pick up on his second lap. Does look a little bit cleaner, but a little loose on exit. Groom's second lap going to be 11:48. An improvement, but not enough to move up. Next car out on the track from Belvidere, Texas. In the Christensen Racing Machine, the number 16, this is Jeremy Christensen. Jeremy, the current Division 3 leader in points. He's right in the marbles. This lap looks pretty decent. Jeremy's first lap in 11:47. It's good enough for fifth. See if he improves. Definitely a change in line for lap number 2. Lap number 2 going to be not an improvement. And 11:48 will be what he holds there. Next car out on track from Dwaynesburg, New York. Driving the Catalyst Recovery EPI Weston Towing Repair XXX with a Crinzer. The Inferno Motorsports number 518. This is Joseph Grandy. Joseph Grandy on the clock, right around the top of the speedway. He's not fast for Christensen here. Let's see where it is for Joseph. Joseph's first lap in 11:41. Good enough to plot him in at fifth. Different line, a little squiggly there on the exit. And Grandy's second lap in 11:16. Good enough to move him to third on the field. Next car out on track from Reading, Pennsylvania. The UDTV Tim's Dirt Trek Simulators 19 Designs Mach 1 with a Donut. Driving for Black Diamond Motorsports in the number 90, this is Trevor Royer. Trevor's first lap. Gonna be 11:08, just enough to get to second, not enough to get around Dudek. He's going to change the lines up a little bit here on lap 2. Looks really great on exit. Royer unable to improve on lap 2. Next car out on the track. From Coldwater, Ohio, driving the Klosterman Engraving and Design, the M9 Performance JPR Maxim. For Jonathan Paquette Motorsports, this is Nick Klosterman. Nick going to run right around the marbles. Very similar line to Trevor. Potential to be fast here. Nick's first lap going to be an 11:41. That's enough to lock him in for 7th at the moment. He's going to change it up, run a little bit of a slider line in 1 and 2. And Klosterman's second lap, 11:33 this time, tied for Christian Sims. It's going to slot him in to 7th position. Next car out, our second place in Division 2 points, driving the 25 Enterprises TWR Racing Shocks EPI JR1 with a Moyle engine. This is Miles Jansen from Taylor's Falls, Minnesota. Miles' first lap out here. Going to be a 11:09. Good lap. Good enough for 3rd at the moment. Miles' second lap going to be 11:30. Not fast enough. Next car out on track from Mountain Home, Idaho. Driving the bad boy buggies, Triple X with a Morrison for Newton Racing. This is James Newton. James Newton. Second Division 3 points at the moment. James looking really good. James is one of those drivers that you have to be careful about. He gets better every week that he's out on the track. While James isn't super new to the service, his first lap in 11:34. While James isn't super new to the service, he is new compared to most of the people in this race. Newton's second lap going to be not faster. That 11:34 will slot him into 9th. Next car out from Uniontown, Pennsylvania, driving the Inferno Motorsports 187. This is Rick Main. Rick's first lap out. Gonna slot him in 6th and 11:26. Second lap for Rick. Gonna be not faster. The 11:20 gonna slot him in at 6th. Next car out from Roseburg, Oregon, driving the CD Cinematography, Gage Stephen Sims Designs, Ashton Mueller Racing, Triple X with a Donut. This is Ashton Mueller, driving for Aero Sim Sports. Ashton's first lap looks pretty decent here. Quick time, 11:02 for Ashton Mueller by just 1/100 of a second. Going to take the pole, and that is a new track record as well. His second lap, not going to be faster. That 11:02, though, spots Ashton Mueller on the pole. Next car out on track, a former NARC champion, driving the Aces Up Sim Sport, Bocus Built Sims. Fusion Speed Shop Maxim with the Don Ott for Kenny Hoffman Racing. This is Kenny Hoffman. Woo! He gets a little wheelie out there on the exit of 2. He is putting it all out on the track. First lap for Kenny, probably not going to. Quick time, a 10:96. We've broken into the 10-second bracket. I would not have guessed that tonight. Kenny's second lap going to be not any better. That 10:96 going to stand as the new track record, and Kenny Hoffman is your provisional pole at the moment. That's true. He does. No, he doesn't take it from his teammate. Sorry, at first I thought took that from Dudek, but Mueller was holding the pole there. Next car out on the track from Hilton Head, South Carolina, driving the 007 for Jeremy Childers Racing. This is Jeremy Childers. Track picking up speed. Let's see if anybody can take advantage of that. Jeremy's first lap in 11:57. Ooh, and a little bit of wall contact. That's not going to make this lap any better. No better on this lap. Childers with 11:57. Going to slot him into 14th provisionally. Next car out on the track from Jefferson City, Missouri. The Aces Up SimSport finish line design Maxim with a Morrison engine. For Scott Thomason Racing, this is Chad Griggs. Chad Griggs with an incredible performance last week, racing up front with some of the best drivers in iRacing. Chad absolutely letting it hang out there here for lap one. I'm not sure he's going to get scored with a time. Sometimes when you touch the wall, the transponder won't read the time. It's going to be just a bit more conservative here for lap two, but all the way up to the wall. Griggs, quick time, a 10:90 for Chad Griggs, another new track record. Chad Griggs going to sit on your provisional pole at the moment, but our next car out on track, a teammate of Chad's from Olean, New York, in the Finish Line Race Designs Aces Up Sim Sports for Scott Thomason Racing. This is Josh Whiteman. Josh's first lap in 11:19. Going to slot him in for ninth. Let's see what he's got for lap number two. A similar line to what Griggs was running. Lap number two for Whiteman, a little bit better. 11:14, going to move him up to 8th on the grid. Next car out on track from Carlisle, Pennsylvania, and the Turn 2 Terribles podcast. Jeremy Zarfos Photography, McGrew Bid, Maxim with an HP motor. For Brent Marks Sim Sports, this is Chris Lynn. Chris all the way up on the top of the track. Everybody trying to get the most out of that cushion they can. Chris's first lap, 11:57, tied for Childers. Oh, and Lynn into the wall. That lap is not going to count. We do not score laps after wall contact. Next car out on track from Wilson, Michigan, in the KK Contracting, Just a Trim Lawn Service, number 91. This is Solomon Borschinger. Solomon's first lap, kind of up in the cushion. You can hear a little bit of difference in that car between the Griggs and the Hoffman and the Mueller car. Just a little bit, maybe taller gear. First lap for Borschinger is going to be, must have been a little bit of wall contact, did not count. Lap number two for Solomon is going to be 11:76, good enough for 18th. The next car out from Millersburg, Pennsylvania, in the Aces Up SimSport More Than Tires Paints by Tunican RPM with a Donna. 4 Elbows Up SimSports, this is Tyler Schell. Tyler getting some real life racing experience this weekend. He took his 305 sprint out to Babs for a test and tune for the first time. Tyler's first lap, quick time, 10:89 for Tyler Schell. That'll set a new track record once again. Tyler's second lap, 10:89 stands. Nothing better for Tyler on lap two. 19 cars qualified. Every single car has beaten the previous track record. Next car out. For Old Man Motorsports, driving the Victory Sim number 97. This is Richard Obermeyer. Richard Obermeyer from Bradford, Pennsylvania. Richard's first lap in 11:91, good enough for 20th. Richard's second lap, 11:58. That's going to slot him up to 19th. The next car out from Sioux Falls, South Dakota. In the 10 Old Parent Racing Bergstrom 4 Mile Productions 25 Enterprises, number 74, this is Jonathan Dolly. Jonathan's first lap coming around here will be an 11:47. That's good enough to slot him in to 16th. A little bit loose there in 1 and 2. Goes down to the bottom of the track, slides up right under that slick spot. Second lap for Dolly, not an improvement. 11:47 will keep him in 16th. Next car out from Bloomington, Indiana in the 25 Enterprises EPI Victory Fuel Triple X with a Chevy. This is Steven Stewart. Love that red, white, and blue paint Steven's running. Such a classic look. First lap, 11:25 for Steven. That's going to slot him into 12th. Second lap for Stewart, going to be an 11:23. Just a little bit better, but not enough to move. Still, all the cars under the existing track record. Next car out on track from North Syracuse, New York. Driving the World of Outlaws Dirt Vision. Full Throttle Motorsports number 79. This is Dean Reynolds. Dean currently Division II point leader for No Limit this season. Dean's first lap looks pretty smooth, actually. Really good exit there on 4. Dean's first lap going to be 11:26. Enough to slot him into 13th. Dean's second lap. Ooh, a little bit better, 11:18. Moves him up to 11th on the grid. The next driver out from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania in the Chatham Motorsports Full Throttle Motorsports Super Dirt Car Series number 99. This is Gavin Chatham. Gavin takes the green flag. It's pretty smooth there on lap number 1. Lap number 1 is going to come in at a 10:95. That's going to put him to the third quick. Great first lap for Gavin. Gavin's second lap going to come in here at no better. Next car out on track. From Lemoore, California, in the Mac Tools 1425 Photography, Blake Carrick Racing Triple X with an OT. For Tanner Pettit Racing, this is Ryan Avila. Ryan in second in overall point standings at the moment after his run last week. But that's essentially first since Cox. Ooh, into the wall. He is laying it out there. Avila's first lap, 10:92. Probably not going to improve here on the second lap because the wall contact, that's going to slot him into third. What I was saying is Avila likely sitting in the lead of the points because Bradley Cox is not here tonight. Next car out from Chico, California in the TannerPettitRacing.com 1425 number 24 for Tanner Pettit Racing. It is Tanner Pettit himself. Tanner takes the green flag right up against the wall. All the way down to the bottom of 3 and 4. Pettit's first lap going to be 10:98. Good enough for 6th quick. See if we can improve here on lap number 2. Lap number 2 for Tanner. Not going to improve. Going to hold it at 10:98. Next car out on track from St. Louis, Missouri. In the Rocking Cage, Jess and Jim's Midwest Barbecue, Scott Thomason Racing, number 73. This is Larry Moody. Larry, a distinguished veteran of NARC and SSR. He's been around for a very long time. Larry's first lap. Going to be an 11:37, good enough to slot him into 21st here. And that second lap is going to be an 11:55, no improvement for him there. Next car out on track from Cottage Grove, Oregon. Driving the Jimmy P. Mac Tools 1425 photography, Jordan Casey, Ethan Johnson, free speed number 2 for Tanner Pettit Racing. This is Kellen Saba. Kellen running that very similar line we've seen, although he runs a slider here in 3 and 4. Let's see what he's got for lap number 1. Saba's first lap in 11:02. Good enough for 8th at the moment. He's going to run the bottom of the track now in 3 and 4. That will 11 even, an improvement. Good enough to move him to 7th as well. Next car out from San Jose, California, driving the trackside collective number 4 for Ross Kaiser Racing. This is Ross Kaiser. Ross, I believe, sporting some Tanner Pettit support as well. Ross's first lap in 11:16. Good enough to spot him in at 14th. He's going to run that slider line again in 3 and 4. And Ross's second lap, 10:96. Big improvement for Ross on the second lap. It's going to move him to 6th position. The next car out from Lincoln, Nebraska, driving the Jimmy P. Mac Tools 1425 photography. Aces Up Sim Sport number 21 for Tanner Pettit Racing. This is Blake Carrick. See what Blake's got here for lap number 1. Lap number 1 for Blake, going to be a 10:96. We'll slot him in at 7th. Runs a way different line for lap number 2, way up at the top. And not an improvement. The next car up from Yuba City, California, in the Golden Valley Auto Body SSR Triple X with a Fisher. This is Kyle Stanley. Kyle's first lap right around the top in 1 and 2. 3 and 4 goes to the bottom. This has been the fast spot, but he's in the slick on the exit. Kyle's first lap gonna be an 11:41, good enough for 25th quick. Kyle's second lap, not an improvement. 11:41 again for Kyle Stanley in 25th. Next car out from St. Louis, Missouri. Driving the number 80 Ironman Motorsports machine, this is Vinny Sansone. Vinny's first lap. Going to be good enough for 26th and 11:44. This field is tight. Even the fast guys are struggling. Any better for Vinny on lap number 2? Yeah, 11:14. That's going to move him up to 16th position. Rolling out on the speedway from Olathe, Kansas. Driving the Derek's Action Photo Speed Factory's Axis Constructions Triple X, powered by a rider for Cadenberry Motorsports. This is Jack Burke. Jack's first lap does not score because of wall contact. Let's see what he gets for lap number 2. Jack Burke second lap for 21st and 11:28. Slots him at 21st for Jack Burke. And the next car up, driving the 00 from Sacramento, California. In the School of Sim Racing Victory Fuel Personal Evolution Company Shaver Ford, this is Justin Sherman for Team SSR. first lap going to be? I've lost it. No time on the first lap. Sherman's second lap. Did not see. We're on 11:15. That slots him in the 17. Next on the speedway in the number 7 from Grand Forks, North Dakota. The Elite Performance Industry TWR Racing Shack 25 Enterprise Triple X with a Moyle. It's Matthew Croak. Matt Croak's first lap going to be 11:22, good enough for 21st. Second lap 11:22 as well. So that ends Turn 2 Terribles qualifying with, for what we can officially say, 35 new track records tonight. Every single car that went out for qualifying took a new track record. Tyler Schell will take the new track record home, and the Turn 2 Terribles pole in the number 85. Tyler Schell will be your pole sitter tonight. Well, we're going to move on and pay some sponsors here, and then we will be right back with you. Five times more electrolytes than the leading sports drink. Victory Fuel is your winning source for hydration, all while giving you all your daily vitamins in just a 12-ounce can. Sweetened with only 6 grams of natural sugar and no added coloring. VictoryFuel.com to get your fuel shipped right to you, right to your front door, or find your closest track or retailer there as well. Victory Fuel, the presenting sponsor for the No Limit Sprint Cars. We have wrapped up qualifying action, and we are about to start the official program here at Cedar Lake Speedway. We're starting to see a little bit of track progression, but as we head into heat races, Christian, are you hearing anything down there in the pits from any of the drivers that might give us a tip on what's going on?
Well, definitely down here in the pits, the drivers are ecstatic. The track is fast. Actually, I saw the track crew high-fiving each other for such an excellent showing tonight. The track is just perfect for racing, and the guys are definitely making some adjustments to see if they can get even that much more speed out of the track. But what an exciting qualifying, multiple track records, and ultimately Tyler Schell getting that quick time. So very, very exciting.
All right, we'll let Christian have a second here and see if he can find somebody to talk to maybe as we get ready to start the heat races. Giving drivers a little bit of time to, check the fuel, put some new fuel, new tires if they want on the car, maybe some adjustments to the setup, and then we'll start pushing cars off for the heat races. Christian's down there hunting for somebody. I don't know who he's going to find. I've heard a couple people in my ear here. All right, Christian. I think Christian's got somebody down there. Christian, who you got?
Yeah, I've got Miles Jansen kind of thing. Miles, tell me about that qualifying run and the potential of getting a potential track record out there with the way the track is tacked up.
Yeah, it's definitely a fast racetrack right now. It'll be interesting to see how this invert plays into it, and we got a pretty fast race car. Hopefully, we can do something with it.
Yeah, definitely a quick track, quick race car. Anybody you'd like to give a shout out to while we got you here?
Yeah, all the guys at EPI and 25 Enterprises. Without them guys, my team would probably be suffering quite a bit with speed, and just them guys are such a great help to everything. And I also want to thank Matt for subbing in for Bradley tonight, and hopefully we have a good night.
Yeah, good luck and have fun out there in your heats.
Thank you.
All right. The push trucks are out behind the first cars here to roll off for the heats. We'll get a lineup here in just a second. Starting on the pole for heat race number 1 in the 00715 SSR, this is Justin Sherman. On the outside of row 1 in the 970, just talked to him, Miles Jansen. On the inside of row number 2 for Tanner Pettit Racing, it's Kellen Sabo. On the outside of row number 2 is going to be Kenny Hoffman. On the inside of row number 3, your pole sitter and new track record holder for Elbows Up Sim Sports is Tyler Schell. On the outside of row number 3 for Kenny Hoffman Racing, I think that's right. We'll take it, Matthew Crook. On the inside of row number 4 in the number 16 for Christensen Racing, it's Jeremy Christensen. And in the number 54, on the outside of row number 4, it's going to be Kyle Stanley. And dragging the tail of the field in the number 32 is going to be Chris Lynn for Brent Marks Motorsports. Ten laps, the distance here. The winner in the fastest qualifier will transfer to the dash. Top 4 will automatically transfer to the feature. Sherman leads him to the green. Off to a quick start. 3 wide, back for second. Sherman takes the top. Jansen takes the top. They're both going to come out good for that. The bottom of the track probably a little faster here in 3 and 4 though. Again, coming to the line. Now it's going to be Sabo and Sherman. Sabo's got a little bit of an advantage as he runs the bottom in 3 and 4. Sherman's starting to pull out for a lead. Tyler Schell working traffic in the back, trying to figure out how to get up. Currently not in a transfer position. Jansen and Sabo, a little bit of contact. Jansen gets the worst of it. He's now all the way back to 6th place on the outside, looking back in. Schell now up to 4th on the top side. Hoffman down to the bottom, slides up to the top. Sabo runs back down to the bottom. Schell probably the winner in that as he catches back to the bumper of both of them. Sherman, Sabo, Hoffman, Schell, Croak, Jansen, your top 6. Sherman running the top. Hoffman now into that 2nd spot. He gets taken back by Sabo. Now a little bit of a slider battle for them. That's going to bring Tyler Schell back into the picture. Justin Sherman out on a joyride out there. He's just hanging out. Sabo makes an attempt. Sabo blocks. Shell down on the bottom. Hoffman, the big winner there. Shell trying to run the bottom of the track. Sabo tries to take that line away. Hoffman now starting to pull out. First and second, Sherman, Hoffman. Shell back to the top of the track. Sabo back to the top of the track. Shell drops down on Sabo. Shell's going to run the slider in 3 and 4. Right up to the cushion. Sabo cuts down underneath him. Last lap. Sherman out for a joyride. Shell going to run the slider back on Sabo. Sabo down at the line. Shell's going to get it. Sherman, Hoffman, Shell, Sabo, Croak, Jansen, Christensen. I believe that'll take Sherman and Shell to the dash. Nice little run there. School of Sim Racing Heat Race number 2 lining up. Starting on the pole in the number 518, it is Joseph Grandy on the outside of row number 1. In the number 95, Brent Hagan. Inside of row number 2, in the number 33, Ashton Mealer. In the outside of row number 2, in the number 4, Ross Kaiser. Inside of row number 3, going to be your second place qualifier, Chad Griggs in the 27. The outside of row number 3, going to be the number 29 of Steven Stewart. On the inside of row number 4, in the number 26, it's going to be Nick Klosterman. And on the outside of row number 4, the number 74, it's going to be Jonathan Dolly. And bringing up the tail of heat race number 2, in the number 97 is going to be Richard Obermeyer. Top 4 will transfer. Your winner and your fastest transferring qualifier, fastest qualifying transfer car, I'll say it right, will go to the dash. Grandy brings him to the green. Grandy gets a good start. Further back in the field, a little bit more bunched up. Again, 3 wide for second to start with, just like heat race number 1. Griggs all the way up to 3rd position already. Griggs gets back to the top side of the speedway. He's on a mission. He knows where he wants to go. Grandy not pulling away like Sherman. Hagan makes a little bit of wall contact. He starts to fall back. Griggs now starting to ride. He's got Ross Kaiser behind him though. Can't lay out and let that one happen. A little bit of a race for the front. Mealer and Grandy now duking it out. That's going to bring Chad Griggs and Ross Kaiser right to Grandy's tail tank. Mealer's going to take the lead. Grandy's going to come down. A little bit of contact. Now 3 wide for the race lead. Coming out of turn number 4 at the line. I don't know. Throw a blanket over him. Who knows who led that lap? Chad Griggs is back in 4th place going, I have no idea what happened, but how did I get back here? New leader going to be Ross Kaiser as he comes out on top after all the shenanigans on the exit of 4. Going to be Kaiser, Grandy, Griggs now taking it over from Mealer. Griggs now in 3rd place. Griggs on the attack to Joseph Grandy. Drops down to the inside. Not a lot there. Grandy looks a little bit loose on exit. Griggs going to slide up. Griggs now cleanly in 2nd place. Kaiser, Griggs. Jonathan Dolly now in 4th place. 3 laps to go. Griggs running the top side of the speedway. Ross Kaiser starting to pull away from it. Griggs trying to track him down. Still a 2nd lead for Kaiser. Don't think that's going to happen. Currently, Kaiser and Griggs both go to the dash. No need to push the envelope here. Kaiser out on a Sunday night stroll. Coming around to take the checkered flag. Ross Kaiser, Chad Griggs, Joseph Grandy. Dolly, Klosterman, Stewart, Mealer, Obermeyer, and Hagan. Ross Kaiser and Chad Griggs go to the dash. Grandy and Dolly transfer to the feature, but will line up based on their finishing in the heat. Heat race number 3, hopping onto the grid here. Starting on the pole. In the number 79, it's Dean Reynolds. On the outside of row number 1, the number 24, it is Josh White. On the inside of row number 2, Connor Duda. On the outside of row number 2, Blake Carrick. On the inside of row number 3 is going to be the 49 of Ryan Avila. On the outside of row number 3, going to be the number 17 of Jack Burke. On the inside of row number 4, the number 8 of James Newton. In the outside of row number 4, the number 11 of Joseph Groom. And dragging the tail of this field for the heat race, the number of 91 of Solomon Borsham. 9 cars go 10 laps the distance. Top 4 will make it to the feature. Top 2 will race to start on the pole. Reynolds, Whiteman, Dudek, Carrick, Ryan Avila. Pace car's off. Reynolds leads him to the green. Reynolds gets a really good jump. Oh, contact between Dudek and what is that? Dudek and Whiteman. Whiteman looks like he's out. How does it work out up front? That's going to bring, I believe, Ryan Avila all the way up to second place. He's battling for the lead before the first lap's even over. Avila, Reynolds, Burke, Newton now in your top 4. Dudek and Whiteman miss finishing the heat race. Both of them off the track. Avila out, starting to pull. Now Reynolds gets taken over by Burke. Avila, Burke, now Reynolds. James Newton in 4th. Can Burke start to reel in Avila? Avila's pulling 1.1 second gap at the moment. Pretty much straightened out here. James Newton now making a move on Dean Reynolds, trying to protect. These 4 guys pretty much guaranteed a spot in the feature. All they got to do is finish at the moment. Groom's 6 seconds back, not really anything to worry about. He continues to drive her deep in on the bottom of the racetrack, but exiting right in that slick. Oh, much better corner for Newton. Now Newton goes down. He's just got no exit in 3 and 4. His 1 and 2 way better than Dean Reynolds. But his 3 and 4 just cannot hold up. Reynolds now all the way to the top of the track. Checkered flag coming out. Avila, Burke, Newton. Newton and Reynolds at the line. Reynolds is going to get him. Avila, Burke, Reynolds, Newton. I have no idea who the dash goers out of that will be. Let's see, who would it be? It would be Ryan, Avila, and Reynolds both to the dash. Avila and Reynolds to the dash out of that. What a race there for the Triggensford. Heat race number 4 coming up. On the outside of row number 1 in the 187, it's going to be Rick Main. That's the inside of row number 1 on the pole. On the outside of row number 1 in the number 80, it's going to be Vinny Sansone. On the inside of row number 2 in the number 90, it's Trevor Royer. And on the outside of row number 2, it's going to be Tanner Pettit in the 24. On the inside of row number 3, your 4th quick qualifier. And quick qualifier for this heat, in the number 99, it's Gavin Chatham. And on the outside of row number 3, in the number 6, it's going to be Mike Watson. On the inside of row number 4, in the 73, it's Larry Moody. And rounding out the field in the 007, it is going to be Jeremy Childers. 8 cars take the flag tonight. looking at everybody pushed out. I don't see a 90 car pushed out on the track. Looks like we are missing Trevor Royer. Yeah, I'm looking at, they've got the hood off on the Royer machine in the pits. He's behind a push truck, or in front of a push truck, but they never pushed that. They never got that car to fire. We'll have to catch more on that. So that's going to shuffle the field just a little bit.
Yeah, Bruce, I'm sitting down here quickly with Trevor Royer. It looks like there's a little bit of engine trouble, and so they're going to bring it back to the garage.
Unfortunate for our invitational champion. Maine and Sansone lead him to the green here. Green flag's out. Maine's going to get a good lead. Sansone loses some positions on the outside. Chatham's going to move all the way up to second. Big cluster of cars, top six, all on top of each other. Maine starting to lose ground to Chatham on the bottom. Sansone starting to come back to Maine on the top. Pettit also working the bottom. Nobody's really making any ground on anybody at the moment. Chatham's going to come around to lead that lap, but Maine's going to take the lead coming out of one again. Maine into the wall a little bit. Sansone ducks underneath him. He cuts the car down. Tanner Pettit's now moved to the top. He's going to come around on Vinny Sansone. Chatham leads that lap too. Now Chatham free and clear. He can go wherever he wants, not stuck on the bottom. Continues to run down there. Pettit drops the nose, cuts underneath Rick Maine, goes to the bottom, but his teammate, Chatham, is in the way. Pettit slides in front of Maine, but can't quite hold it. Maine not as deep of a slider to get around Pettit. Pettit again dropping the nose. Now he's in front of Rick Maine, free and clear. Pettit a great 1 and 2. He's now battling for the lead. Pettit on the top, going to make a move on Chatham. Pettit's going to lead that lap by a wild run out of 4. What a move. Sansone now been able to get around Maine. You got Pettit, Chatham, Sansone, and Maine. Not a battle for the transfer here, really. They're just kind of hanging out. Back up front, Tanner Pettit out for a Sunday morning stroll. Tanner Pettit, Gavin Chatham, Vinny Sansone, Rick Maine, Larry Moody, Mike Watson, Jeremy Childers finished that race. So I believe that is going to be Pettit and Chatham going to the dash. And that finishes out our heat race. As we let the cars get ready for the consolation here, we're going to learn a little bit about incident avoidance from Christian McCartney. Here is this week's SSR Tech Tip.
Welcome to Tech Tip, presented by the School of Sim Racing. We've all been there as a rookie. I'm only here for the safety rating. You are desperate to move up the iRacing ladder but can't seem to avoid incidents. Well, this is the tech tip for you. For each off-track, car contact, wall contact, or loss of car control or incident, iRacing assigns points. The ratio of accrued incident points to clean corners is called safety rating, and this is used by the sim as a rough approximation of how likely a driver is to be involved in future incidents. How do you gain safety rating? Simple. Complete more clean corners without accruing incident points. Pretty easy, right? So why do so many drivers struggle with maintaining safety rating? One of the biggest reasons is that many drivers struggle with SR is that their goals are not aligned with the iRacing progression system. The iRacing career path is purposely built to help drivers slowly learn and progress from low horsepower, easy to drive cars to high horsepower, difficult to drive cars. However, there are many ways in which drivers can cheat the system and quickly progress. There are so many guides out there to do this that it isn't worth the time to list them here, but generally they include start from the pits and running uncompetitive at the back, Avoid qualifying and running uncompetitive at the back. Avoiding particular series with difficult car and track combinations. Or only time trials to accrue safe corners. Contrary to popular belief, these are not ways to avoid incidents, and for many drivers, actually contribute to more incidents. The problem with these tactics is that you miss key lessons, such as car control and racing around traffic cleanly, that are intended to be learned by running as a rookie. You will only get better at racing by practicing racing. And in rookies, it is okay to make mistakes, and it is okay that others make mistakes too. So how do we get better at racing in traffic cleaner? Well, lots of people will tell you, don't try to win it on the first lap. And they are dead wrong. You heard me right. Those people are wrong because the first competitive laps of any session are qualifying. And that is the one time in a race where you can pass the entire field with one lap. Starting up front confers a huge advantage when avoiding incidents and lets you run your race at your pace. So want to improve safety rating? Practice qualifying. Of course, not everyone will start up front. So what about everyone else? Well, here are a few tips. When running in traffic, it is very important that you are aware of your surroundings at all times. Use every tool at your disposal. The mirror, the black box, racing companion apps, to keep tabs on who is around you, their habits, their racing lines, and what are your relative speeds. This will help you better predict what your competitors will do and prepare you for timing passes and being passed, and let you better control the outcome of your race. Use risk-reward decision making. Do I need to make this pass on this driver now? Each pass is a risk-reward decision and should be approached as such. Consider your position, the laps remaining in the race, track conditions, the time lost to your competitors when deciding to make passes, and dial your aggression accordingly. Accept that aggression correlates to risk and that you are responsible for your front bumper and managing your race. Remember, not everyone runs triple monitors or VR, and that it may be difficult for some drivers to see you coming on a single monitor. Give people the benefit of the doubt and give extra time and space to set up a pass to ensure you get past cleanly. Remember that cautions breed cautions, most often because drivers approach starts and restarts with too much aggression or attempt to game the competition. Approach restarts with a plan and avoid aggressive moves. Be predictable. Know that if you are faster than the drivers in front, you will get back past them once the field is spread out. Run your race. What do you do when mistakes happen? Not every incident is your fault. We are all amateur racers. Mistakes will happen, and these will often lead to wrecks involving multiple cars who are otherwise innocent bystanders. Go to any track around the country, and this exact scenario plays out on the track each and every weekend. This is part of learning, and it is part of racing. To be blunt, if you can't handle this truth, racing isn't for you. But there are some things we can do to navigate past incidents cleanly. Here are a few tips. Don't get tunnel vision when racing. To avoid incidents, you need to give yourself the time to identify, plan, and react. To do this, you need to look through or ahead of the cars in front of you. Cars racing side by side, cars struggling with handling, or cars that have damage can all be high-risk offenders for incidents, so don't put yourself in a bad position around these other drivers. It might sound simple, but when you see smoke, slow down. Be predictable. And lastly, be humble. The incident may not have started with you, but if you were involved, you also earn those incident points by failing to avoid the wreck. It is a no-fault system, so it is up to us to recognize our mistakes and correct them. Wrecking is part of racing, whether we like it or not, and learning to avoid wrecks is a skill that needs practice at all levels of competition.
Mahako does a good job at covering Robert Ballou. Oh, big right, Bacon yard sails it, and he's gonna leave the ballpark down in turn one. Bacon leaves the property, huge flip for the Macho Man.
This has been Tech Tip, presented by the School of Sim Racing.
All right, here we are. We're taking the green flag for consolation race number 1. 4 cars are going to make it to the feature out of this. Matt Croak and Miles Jansen starting on the front row. They're going to have a nice little battle into one. Like Carrick starting to make a run on the outside of the racetrack. Jansen goes down to the bottom. Crook stays up top. Jansen and Crook, both teammates here. The 7 car is the house car for Miles Jansen. Carrick now, though, right on their back bumper. And Jansen now is going to pull into third behind him. Chris Lynn, Kyle Stanley battling for the transfer. Lynn currently in, Stanley out. Stanley running the bottom of the track. Lynn kind of stuck down in the middle. Stanley and, oh, holy cow, I don't know what happened there. It was like a race car, it looked like, in the middle of the track. Stanley's going to come out on top over that, literally. Oh, wow, what a wild move. He drops the nose, cuts in behind Chris Lynn. Now a little bit of contact. Kyle Stanley racing for his life right now. He's going to pull away cleanly, though. Now Stanley's going to kind of take that transfer spot. Lynn's going to have to find a new path to kind of reel him back in. Back out front, Carrick has taken the lead. Carrick over Croak, over Jansen, over Stanley. Now Stanley back under attack. Lynn to the outside of the racetrack. He cuts the bottom, has to check up. Stanley now running kind of in the middle of the top. Chris Lynn down to the bottom, slide job in front of him. Stanley cuts back down to the bottom of the racetrack. Now Stanley going to throw a deep slider on Lynn. Lynn drops the nose, goes down to the bottom of the racetrack. Stanley going to have the advantage on that lap, 2 laps to go. Chris Lynn now throws the deep slider. Stanley drops the nose, but Lynn only slides to the middle of the track, blocks Stanley's momentum. White flag is out. Lynn gonna now try to throw the slider, but they're not quite there. To the line for the transfer, it's gonna be Chris Lynn over Kyle Stanley. What a battle out there. Blake Carrick leads that. Matthew Croak, Miles Jansen, then Chris Lynn will be your transfers. Christian's got Chris down there in the car.
Hey Chris, heck of a battle there with Kyle Stanley to make the feature. Tell me all about it here in those closing laps of that consolation race.
That was definitely wild there. Got a little tight, a little bit of contact there. Don't love that, but felt good on the bottom. Got some more work to do in the feature here, but yeah, that was fun. Jeremy always races clean, and there's a little minor contact. I don't think it was anything big.
Well, excellent racing out there. Good luck tonight in that feature race. Have fun.
All right, thank you.
All right, consolation race number 2 out on the track. On the pole, number 26, Nick Klosterman. And on the outside of row 1, number 73, Larry Moody. On the inside of row number 2, number 29, Steven Stewart. On the outside of row number 2, in the number 6, it's Mike Watson. On the inside of row number 3, in the 33, it's Ashton Mueller. Ashton got into a little bit of contact in his heat race. That's why he's back here. He was definitely fast in qualifying and in his heat. Just a little bit of bad luck puts you right back in the mix to almost not make the feature. So we'll see if he can pull some. And the 007 of Jeremy Childers is going to be the outside of row 3. Inside of row 4, Richard Obermeyer. Outside of row 4, Trevor Royer, who missed the call in his heat race due to motor problems. And the inside of row number 5 is going to be Brent Hagan. And the outside of row number 5, Connor Dudek, who was also collected in contact in his heat race. 12 laps the distance, top 4 make it to the feature. Klosterman leads him off the turn. Mueller's going down to the bottom. He's got to move. Klosterman maintains the lead going into lap number 1. Mueller gets overcome by Larry Moody. sorry, that's Steven Stewart. I thought that was Austin Mealer in that 29 car. Larry Moody's going to be the leader. Now Mealer, Stewart, Connor Dudek, all kind of making a battle for stuff. Oh, a little bit of contact with Mealer. That's going to take out Mealer and Klosterman. I believe that gets both Mealer and Klosterman in there. Larry Moody, Stewart Dudek, and Mike Watson now, your top 4 transfers. Connor Dudek now throw the slider on Steven Stewart. He clears him. Stewart drops the nose, cuts right back down underneath him, down to the bottom, and the slider in 3 and 4. They're going to come to the line. Stewart's going to have that 6 laps to go. Larry Moody continues to lead. He's maintained the ability to stay out of the hornet's nest there. Stewart drops underneath Connor Dudek. Dudek's going to have the advantage that lap. Stewart and Dudek side by side on the exit. Stewart down to the bottom, gets a little bit loose. Connor Dudek, a little bit of wall contact. Dudek, a clear advantage on the exit of 4. Now it's going to be Moody, Dudek, Stewart, Watson, your 4 transfers. Now Stewart is going to have to figure something out. He's going to have to try another line because that line is not working. Stewart now falling back. Connor Dudek now catching up to Larry Moody as they cross the line this time. It will be 2 more laps to go. 2 laps to go. Larry Moody in the lead, but Connor Dudek right in the throw. Dudek falls in behind Larry Moody, comes right back to the top. Moody kind of running the middle of the track. Dudek a little bit of wall contact. Dudek almost leads that lap, but he's going to have the advantage on Moody on the exit of turn number 2. Dudek now to the top of the speedway as they come to the checkered flag. It's going to be Dudek, Moody, Stewart, Watson, your 4 transfers. Obermeyer, Childers, Hagen, Mealer, Klosterman, and Royer going to be to your 10 there. See if Connor can get with somebody down, or see if Connor can get, see if Christian can get with anybody down there. And they've brought the tractors out on the track, so we're going to have a few minutes to kind of play around here. So let's see if we can find somebody to talk to down in the infield. In the meantime, special thanks out to Victory Fuel. Special thanks out to Turns and Terribles and Golf Dots and ESRN and SSR. All of our sponsors. Christian looks like he's going to have somebody. Christian, looks like you got who? Mike Watson down there?
Yes, I have our last transfer into the feature here, Mike Watson. Tell me what was going through your head during that consolation race as all of a sudden you found yourself into a transfer spot.
Woo-hoo, Christian. I'm pretty psyched up. I tell you what, I thought my car was looking for a new owner till the last couple laps there, and I'm pretty dang excited. It's been great with these guys. I've learned a lot.
Well, yeah, we were super excited to see you into that transfer spot. Regular race, good luck here in the feature. I'm sure you want to get out here for some hot laps.
Thanks, Christian.
Sure, yeah, I'll run the NARC.
Two Terribles podcast live every Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern on Facebook. Is your winning source for hydration, all while giving you all your daily vitamins in just a 12-ounce can. Sweetened with only 6 grams of natural sugar and no added food coloring. Victory Fuel, drinkvictory.com to get your Victory Fuel shipped right to your door, or find the closest retailer or your local racetrack even. Victory Fuel, a huge supporter of SSR and NARC and motorsports in general. You can find them on all kinds of race cars at your local track and all over. Here we go for the SSR Dash. Our lineup for the Dash will be Ross Kaiser on the pole, Chad Griggs on the outside of row 1, Dean Reynolds in row number 2, Justin Sherman on the outside of row number 2. On the inside of row number 3, going to be Tanner Pettit. The outside of row number 3 will be Tyler Schell. And on the inside of row number 4, Gavin Chatham. The outside of row number 4, Ryan Avila. Cars are lined up out on the track. No timing and scoring for the Dash, so we run this by hand. We're waiting on, who does it look like? Tanner Pettit. Pettit pushed off and fired. Looks like he didn't want to go on the first shot there. All right, got him fired up and lined up. Give him one more pace lap, and then we were on 6 laps to fill the top 8 spots in your Victory Fuel Sprint Car, No Limit Sprint Car feature. Kaiser and Griggs take him to the green here. Kaiser hops out to a little bit of a lead, but Griggs really strong on top. He's got a huge run coming off of turn number 2. Griggs going to go down to the middle of the track, attempt the slider right on the nose of Ross Kaiser. Chad Griggs leads lap number 1. Justin Sherman now coming around on the top side of the speedway, followed by Tyler Schell. Kaiser can't put it back in front of Griggs. It's going to be nose to nose at the line as they come around for lap number 2. Kaiser slides Griggs in 1 and 2. Griggs cuts back down underneath him. Griggs with the slider. Schell with the slider now behind them. It's going to be Griggs now. Oh, a little bit of contact. Schell back to the top of the track. He may be the big winner out of that one. Now Griggs under attack from Tyler Schell and Ross Kaiser. Griggs now at the top of the speedway starting to gain momentum back. 2 laps to go. Schell slides Griggs. Griggs with the power move on the outside of the racetrack. He's going to pull way away from Tyler Schell. Give Griggs the lead was the white flag waves. Schell now under attack from now not just Ross Kaiser, but Ryan Avila all the way up from last place into 3rd. Schell's going to run the deep slider, but he's not going to be able to do it. Coming to the line going to be Chad Griggs, Tyler Schell, Ryan Avila, Tanner Pettit, and I missed it at the end. I try so hard to get them. See if Christian can get Chad down there. I will wait for race control to give us a final lineup on the finishing order. So Chad Griggs, Tyler Schell, Ryan Avila, Tanner Pettit, your top 4. Dean Reynolds going to come in 5th place. Waiting to see the results filled in here. Christian's down there looking for someone to talk to as well. They may be going back to review some scoring here on these last 3 spots. So we got Griggs, Schell, Avila, Tanner Pettit, Dean Reynolds. Unsure for 6th and 7th here. Rick Main going to come in 6th. No, Ross Kaiser in 6th, it's looking like. So Kaiser, after a long battle up front early in the race, gets dropped all the way back to, oh no, not 6th. Now it's going to be Gavin Chatham they're lining in 6th. Then Ross Kaiser. And waiting for, that puts Justin Sherman in 8th. So Greg Schell, Avila, Tanner Pettit, Dean Reynolds, Gavin Chatham, Ross Kaiser, and Justin Sherman. I think, Christian, you've got somebody down there. Is it I think you're over there by Joseph Grandy's pit right now. Who you got?
Yeah, I'm over here by Joseph Grandy's pit. The crew is working frantically. Joseph, what kind of adjustments are you gonna need here to run this feature?
Quite a few. Threw a few things at it. We'll see what happens here. Gonna try to hang on here. Hopefully move up a few spots, and we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, watching that dash, it seems like the top side is the place to be. What are you thinking here in terms of where you're going to run? Top, bottom, middle?
I'll probably run in the top most of the track, maybe towards the end through the middle. We'll see.
All right, sounds good. Well, good luck out there.
Got it.
Christian, you're close to Griggs's pit. Were you able to find him, or did he run into the trailer trying to put some last minute adjustments on the car?
Yeah, Bruce, sorry, I'm just running over here quickly. Let me go over into the car here. Chad, tell me about that run. A heck of a run off the top there to get by Ross Kaiser to get the win in that dash. Tell me about it.
A little bit of technical trouble.
Looks like we're having a little bit of technical trouble here with our microphones. We'll run in and get Chad in a bit here. Chad, you got us?
Yes, I do. Sorry.
Yeah, no problem. I see the crew is frantically trying to make a few last-minute adjustments here. Heck of a run in that dash. Tell me about the closing laps they're getting by Ross Kaiser and then battling Tyler Schell.
I was really just trying to run the best that I could where I felt the best, and it just kind of worked out there. It's going to be kind of hairy here for a while. The track's still kind of green, so just going to try to see what we can do to settle in and find a good line to hopefully stay up front in the future here.
Well, you definitely have a great starting spot, all kinds of clean track ahead of you. Good luck tonight, and anybody you'd like to thank here?
Thank you guys for the broadcast. SSR for putting on this league. It's a lot of fun. My team, Scott Thomason Racing, Josh Whiteman for my paint jobs.
All right, great. All right, yeah, I see the crew there just putting the last couple adjustments into the car. Good luck tonight, and have fun.
Thank you, sir.
All of the prep work is done. It is feature racing time here at Cedar Lake Speedway with the Victory Fuel No Limit Sprint cars. All right, I know our lineup card is a little bit off. Again, we're trying so many new things here. Starting 24th on the field from Mountain Home, Idaho, it's James Newton. And in 23rd from Olathe, Kansas, it is Jack Burke. Starting 22nd from Duanesburg, New York, it is Joseph Grandy. And in 22nd, it's Kenny Hoffman from Allentown, Pennsylvania. Starting 20, in the number 00 from Sacramento, California, Justin Sherman. And in 19th, in the number 4 from San Jose, California, it's Ross Kaiser. In 18th, Gavin Chatham in the number 99 from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And in 17th, Dean Reynolds in the number 79 from... This isn't actually right at all. All right, sorry, we are going to miss the lineup here, but this is the time you're all waiting for. Cedar Lake Speedway, welcome to the main event. Before you are the 24 cars and stars of the Simrad market, Victory Fuel NARC No Limit Sprint Cars. They've done battle all night for the opportunity to give you the best show that sprint car racing has to offer. 30 laps, 24 drivers, only one will come out on top. On your feet, Cedar Lake. Chad Griggs to the green. Green flag's out. 35 laps the distance here. Griggs off to a decent start. Tyler Schell's going to cut down underneath it. Schell's going to take the lead out of one. Griggs is going to battle back. Griggs now slides up the racetrack in front of Schell. Schell cuts down. He doesn't have the momentum really to make the slider work. Griggs protects with a short slider. Now Griggs and Schell side by side. Schell now under attack on the bottom from Tanner Pettit. Ryan Avila back there running the top. Griggs going to come back around to lead this lap. Schell and Pettit. Looks like we have a yellow flag. That was looking good. Looks like that might have been Matt Croak back in the deeper part of the field there. I want to apologize again for the lineup mishap. We're trying really hard. We hand do these lineups to make sure that the field is accurate and correct for the format that we're doing. Our timing and scoring software does not give us all of the information that we need to be able to, put these lineups together formally. So we have to improvise a little bit, but we're deeply committed to finding ways to make these more complex formats work. Double file restart. Here we go to take the green flag. Going to be Chad Griggs on the inside with Tyler Schell now on the outside. Green flag is out. Griggs not as good of a start. He's going to try to slide up in front of Schell. Schell drops the nose. Pettit's a little bit in the way. Schell can't get the momentum. Griggs once again protects. Pettit now back to the top of the speedway. Schell stuck on the bottom. Avila drops down to the bottom. Now it's going to be Chad Griggs, Tyler Schell, Tanner Pettit up top. Ryan Avila kind of stuck down on the bottom. He's going to now maybe think about sliding in up top. No, he's going to continue down on the bottom. Griggs to lead that lap. Schell now a little bit of a run. Schell's going to throw the bomb of a slider deep down under Griggs. Griggs cuts down. Griggs is going to lead lap number next. Schell tucks back in underneath him. Tanner Pettit now right on their tail tank. Only one little mistake is all it's going to take for Pettit to be back in this race. Ryan Avila now back to the top of the speedway. Top of the speedway very quick. Griggs battling Tyler Schell like there's no tomorrow. Yellow flag yet again. What a battle up front. Trying to figure out what happened here to cause the caution. It might have been Kellen Sabo. Don't know. doesn't look, based on who's kind of got damage, it looks like it might have been Kellen Sabo and Rick Main there in it. Yeah, a little bit of contact between Main and Sabo. Looks like both of them are going to keep going though, so I think we'll be all right. Out front though, what a battle. Nothing better than great racing out front. Chad Griggs, Tyler Shell, Tanner Pettit, Ryan Avila. The order stays pretty much the same. What do we get now on this restart? Griggs drops down to the bottom. Griggs gets out to an early lead. Pettit now a little bit aggressive as he runs the middle. Pettit's going to get in front of Tyler Shell. Shell's going to throw a little bit of a protective slider. Pettit's going to get kind of stuck in the middle. He now slots in line. Griggs, Shell, Pettit. Avila now runs to the middle of the racetrack. He gets aggressive on Pettit. There's just nothing to do in 3 and 4. Avila makes it a little bit better, but not enough to keep it going. Shell now going to throw the slider on Chad Griggs. He's got nothing for it, though. Griggs now back to the lead lap number next. Griggs now Pettit down on the bottom, but Shell's pretty much got the dominant part of that lead. Avila just back hanging, waiting for something to happen. 23 to go this time by. Yellow flag out again. Yellow flag. I know the caution light was stuck on there. We're going to see if we can get that solved. Looks like, again, a little bit of contact between Sabo and somebody here at the end. Sansone over on his top. He's done for the night. Vinny has not necessarily had the best no-limit experience. Double file restarts again, I believe, this time. Order doesn't change, guys. It's Griggs, Shell, Pettit, Avila. Now we have a little bit of an order change. Ross Kaiser has made his way past Justin Sherman, and he is now starting to move up towards the front. 1 degree. Chad Griggs leads them to the green. Griggs down on the bottom, cuts right back up to the top of the racetrack. Shell nowhere to go. He had a little bit of momentum on him. Tanner Pettit being super aggressive on Shell. He goes down to the bottom of the track. He's going to slide up, slot Pettit into P2 now. Brian Avila now moving down to the bottom. Pettit and Shell going to battle a little bit here. Avila making it dicey down on the bottom. But Griggs, Pettit, Shell now. Avila. Ross Kaiser making a move on Ryan Avila as he tries the bottom side of the track, but the top side remains dominant. Ooh, Avila is going to give Ross Kaiser a little bit of a rub there on the exit. As he tries to move up now, he gets back in line along the top of the track. Trust me, the caution is not out. This is real life racing. This is not how we pace. Apparently spoke too soon. A little bit of contact from some of our lead cars there. Sherman and Hoffman, I believe, making contact for that caution. I apologize, we don't have replay. We are working to solve some of that replay problem. Let's see if I can take a look back. Oh yeah, Sherman and Hoffman just racing nose to nose. It looks like the 17 car of, what was that, Groom? Maybe got into that as well, but Hoffman's night is done. A little bit of a change up front. With 19 laps to go, Chad Griggs and Tanner Pettit now. Chad Griggs, Tanner Pettit, Tyler Schell, Ryan Avila, Ross Kaiser are going to be your top 5. This will be a single file restart with 18 laps to go. Get ready to go green. A little bit of an advantage here for Griggs going back to single file. Griggs drops the nose, cuts back down to the bottom of the track. He takes the green flag. Right foot down, noisemakers on. But it's got nothing for him in turn number 1. Blake Carrick coming from the B main all the way up to 6th or 7th place now. But I believe he got a little bit of damage in that last accident, so we'll see what happens. Schell banging down the boards. Avila banging down the boards. Griggs looks really smooth. He's got a good little cut down in 2 and 3 and 4 there. It gives him a little bit more propulsion than everybody else. But in 1 and 2, Pettit is better. Pettit throws the slider. Griggs drops the nose, cuts underneath him. Got a little bit of grip. Now Griggs is going to have to throw the slider again in 1 and 2. Griggs back up to the top spot. He finds grip. Pettit left out to dry there. He's got nothing. Now Pettit's going to throw the slider again in 3 and 4. Griggs drops the nose late this time, but still a really good run. Griggs doesn't have to slide as hard. He's got grip, but Pettit's got that top of the... They make contact. Pettit's in the wall. Oh, Pettit's all the way back to, what is that, 6th or 7th place? And a caution comes out. How are they going to line that? They're going to give Pettit his spot back. I don't know. We'll have to see what works out here. That was a very quick caution. Pettit going to the pits. Tanner Pettit going from 2nd place to the pits tonight. Wow, what a mix-up. Now Griggs and Schell up top. Dudek sitting in 5th place. I think he's up from the consolation now some 15 places. Blake Carrick went in, got a little bit of hot pit work done. Griggs drops down to the bottom. Green flag's back out. Tyler Schell's like, what? Green flag? What happened? Griggs kind of runs away. Schell easily back to his tail tank now. Schell and Avila kind of getting stacked up a little bit back there. Griggs back to the top and a caution again. Just when the racing gets good. I'm not sure if this is good for Griggs or bad for Griggs. The cautions, I think, are working out for him, but in the end, he's only going to have to make one mistake here for these cautions to hurt him pretty badly. So just 11 laps to go now. One green, here we go. Griggs, Schell, Avila, Ross Kaiser, then Connor Dudek. Griggs drops back down to the bottom of the racetrack for the restart. It's a little bit squirrely, but right back up to the top in 1 and 2. It's a better start against Schell that time. Now Shell under attack by Ryan Avila. Could that be a blessing in disguise for Griggs? Avila slots back in line. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Top 5. All the way up on the top of the speedway. All the way back to 6th. Where you see a car going down. And Avila and Shell make contact. But Avila comes out on top. Now Avila slots into 2nd. Avila up into the wall a little bit. Shell dropping back. Shell down to the bottom of the speedway. Kaiser up top, banging the wall. 8 laps to go. Chad Griggs, Ryan Avila, Tyler Shell. Now Griggs and Avila now starting to battle. 7 laps to go. Avila up top, right behind Chad Griggs. Avila now cuts down to the bottom, tries to throw the slider all the way up to the cushion. Griggs cuts underneath it. Griggs gets such a run when he drops the nose in 3 and 4. He's so dominant there. You can't slide him in 3 and 4. You got to get him in 1 and 2. Griggs again drops the nose, and look at this run he gets. Not quite as good as in the past, but he's easily able to slide up to the nose of Ryan Avila. Almost cuts him off. Avila now going back for the slider once again. Now Shell's going to be in the way of Griggs' cut down. Griggs going all the way back to, and the caution comes out. What a lifesaver for Chad Griggs. I think we're going to revert back to the previous lap. Griggs may get 2nd spot back. Let's see how they line up. Looks like Chris Lynn and Jonathan Dolly making a little bit of contact. Starting to look super familiar from our last race. Ryan Avila, Chad Griggs, Tyler Shell up front. Ross Kaiser right there with them. I believe late in the race, Avila got around Griggs. Shell started closing in on Griggs, and Griggs fended it off for that 2nd place, or that 3rd place finish. Griggs does get saved by the yellow. They're going to slot him into 2nd. I am sure he is not complaining there. 4 laps to go. Single file restart here. Guys going up there trying to pack that cushion a little bit. Steven Stewart back out after a hot pit there. Griggs a little bit of space between him and Avila to start with. I think that's the right move. Avila gets out to the best start of anybody on the night at the moment. Griggs right up against the boards though. He's not closing on Avila, but he's not losing to Tyler Shell. Ross Kaiser up top. 3 laps to go now. Kaiser throws the slider now. Shell's going to hold off Ross Kaiser's attack there. Caden Sabo now up here in the top 5 after contact early in the race. He plants it on Connor Dudek. 2 laps to go. Going to take the white flag as we come around here. White flag is out for Ryan Avila. Ryan Avila, Chad Griggs, Tyler Shell and Kaiser still battling it out. Coming to the checkered, it's going to be Ryan Avila. Griggs, Kaiser, Ross, Kaiser, Caden Sabo, Connor Dudek, Gavin Chatham, Dean Reynolds, Miles Jansen, and Jonathan Dolly rounding out your top 10. Mike Watson and Blake Carrick, the only other cars left on the track. Kind of surprising. Cedar Lake, not usually a track that I think has a lot of cautions in my experience, but this track got super technical at the end. Ryan Avila, your winner. He is in victory lane there with the SSR checkered flag. And we'll see who we may be able to get for interviews here post-race. Christian's going to be down there hunting for some people. Looks like we got Chad Griggs, maybe? Maybe Chad Griggs. We'll see. Run down the lineup here again. Ryan Avila, yes. Chad Griggs, Tyler Shell, Ross Kaiser, Kellen Sabo. And I think we got Chad Griggs.
Yes, Bruce, I've run down here. Chad, A little bit of deja vu, leading most of the laps here in the feature, and then late, Ryan Avila getting past you for the win. Walk us through what was going on in your head late in that race. Chad, you got us?
Can you hear me?
Yes, Chad. There we go. We got you a little bit of technical trouble here. Chad, walk us through the last few laps of that race as Ryan Avila got past you, and a little bit of deja vu from race number 1. Bruce, it looks like we're having a few little technical difficulties with Chad. We'll get back to that.
Yeah, let's see if you can hop over to Ryan's car. Maybe we can get Ryan tonight.
Yeah, I'm just gonna run over here. Ryan, another big win for you here. That's 2 in a row, or that's two podiums in a row. Walk us through those final laps as you're getting past Chad.
Yeah, I feel like I played that really smart. Kind of used multiple lines there at the end. Kind of unfortunate for Tanner. I think that would have been a good race between all 5 of us, all 6 of us at the end there. But no, I think that was a smart drive for me. Chad's super smart, Tyler's super smart. So yeah, I used the bottom of my advantage and then got a pretty lucky caution at the end and was able to pull away.
Yeah, certainly Chad was quick off the cushion with that drive down the banking in 3 and 4, but you were able to get past him, working that bottom, and yeah, an excellent run. Any sponsors, crew members you want to thank?
I got to thank everyone at Tanner Pettit Racing, Jimmy P. Mac Tools, 1425 Photography, Ethan Johnson over at Free Speed, Dalton Strum Photography, Trackside Collective, Aces Up SimSport. You guys for putting the broadcast on, and NARC as a whole for putting the league on. Pretty sick, just to run these couple of races for some prizes and just getting better at the game. So yeah, super happy with tonight's run and looking for another one in 2 weeks or next week. Have to look at that.
Well, congratulations, Ryan, on a big win here with the No Limit Series. Ryan Avila, your Cedar Lake winner.
What a great race tonight, Christian. Battle all the way through the top of the field. A little bit interesting to see so many cars hit up by bad luck and not finish the race. I was surprised to see we only had 12 cars finish tonight, which is very unusual. Oh, do you have Chad down there?
Yeah, we got the mic working here. Chad, a little bit of deja vu there with Ryan Avila getting past you late in the race. Walk us through that.
Yeah, that's. I'm an older guy. I got to work really hard to run with these guys. These young guys that are good on here are. It takes everything I have to run with them, and I was just really trying to hang on at that point. I know there was a point in that race where Tanner Pettit and I had some contact. I haven't had a chance to go back and look at it. If there's any blame on me for that happening, I would apologize to Tanner Pettit for that. I don't think there was. My spotter told me I was clear, and I was just trying to get back to the top, and I don't know whether he tried to squeeze it in. There wasn't room, and I closed the gap up or something. I don't know what it was, but I would apologize to him, and then I would also apologize to a buddy of mine, Tyler Shell. I had some contact with him. He snuck in on my inside when I was trying to run kind of a middle line, and I didn't see him there and touched him. But yeah, I was. If you had a video of me, I'm like dripping in sweat trying to hang on to this thing with these young guys.
Well, definitely some elbows up racing for sure, close racing, and I can tell you from sitting down here trackside, very exciting racing. I don't know if I'd say that trying to keep up with those young guys, because it looks like to me you're the one pacing the field here most nights. Definitely the most laps led here over the first 2 races, so the car's definitely got a lot of speed, and you're showing a lot of speed. Just have to close one of these out here.
Yeah, I tell myself I'm of the mentality more so that I just need to finish, and I need to finish up front and be consistent. 8 weeks is a decent long season, so I need to put together good finishes. So that's really what I'm trying to do. Like if I can't win, just finish the best I can and stay up there toward the front.
Well, definitely a good points night, another podium for you, and definitely keeping pace with those top guys. So, congratulations. Anybody that you'd like to thank? Crew members, sponsors?
Yeah, thank you guys for the broadcast. SSR for putting this on. It's a lot of fun. My team, Scott Thomason Racing, Josh Whiteman, who does my paints, and my buddy Tyler Shell for helping me out and kind of driving me and pushing me. He may not know it, but it's a driving force for me to try to beat him.
Well, that's it. Everybody helping each other here in the pits, and that's what makes the series go around. That's what makes everything go around. So, everybody, Chad Griggs, your P2 finisher here in the Cedar Lake No Limit race. Congratulations, Chad.
Thank you, sir.
Well, Christian, another night in the books. What's your big takeaway?
Well, exciting racing. Like you said, a lot of guys got bit with the the DNF bug here tonight. With only 12 cars on the lead lap, that's really gonna make points battles that much more intense going into the next race. And guys, are gonna have to maybe learn from what Chad was saying. In order to finish first you must finish. I'm looking at some of the names here: Tanner Pettit, Justin Sherman, Kenny Hoffman, just to name a few. And then, really bad luck for Trevor Royer as well, who had troubles all night long getting that car out onto the grid. Hopefully they're going to do a little bit work back in the shop and have his car ready for the next race. But yeah, that's going to be a big shakeup here in the points after tonight.
Yeah, I was surprised to see, Trevor Royer struggle a little bit last week and struggle this week. So definitely not a great start to the season for him. I think we were hoping to see a little bit more out of Trevor, but you can't beat the mechanical bugs when they happen, and you got to do your best to learn from them and move on.
Yeah, absolutely. And the other thing I would point out tonight is the track prep crew. We've been giving them a little bit of flack for the last number of weeks for running over some wires and interrupting our broadcast, but I think tonight they were spot on. A fast track, putting up record times, and just an absolutely great race up front. So kudos to the track prep group. They did a great job tonight.
Yeah, I would agree with that. That track rework, we talked about it in the beginning that it might come into play, and it did. And in the end, if you listen to Chad Griggs after the dash, he talked about how he thought the track was a little bit too green, but when it was all said and done, it did provide for some pretty decent racing. The bottom never really came in. It was pretty much right around the top, at least out front, and it was hard to pass on the bottom, but that's the way it is in these cars. They have big motors in them and lots of downforce, and sometimes if you can just bury that momentum, you're just not going to be beat. Well, Christian, on behalf of both you and myself and Ted York, the other executive producer of No Limit, I want to thank all the people that come out and help us. This list is just a little bit of the people. We also have Brandon Garman, who has been absolutely critical in helping the broadcast get going. And this week we had help from Josh Borowski in the timing and scoring tower. And Josh also manages the NARC recap scoring that you see roll across the bottom of your screen every week. So thanks again to all of those guys for all their help. It truly is a team effort here at ESRN and School of Sim Racing. If you are looking for a place to hang out, a place to come and learn and get better on iRacing, come check out schoolsimracing.net. Our Discord server has nearly 5,000 people, active conversations almost every day about equipment or setups or cars or how to drive. And we are currently in the process of rewriting a lot of our technical content for how to drive the cars and tips and tricks. We're seeing a lot of that information show up in our tech tips at each of the broadcasts, which are being put together by Christian McCartney, and we couldn't be happier with that content. So on behalf of all of us, thanks again for coming out and hanging with us. I'm Bruce Klingon, and I'll see you when the dust settles.